Hi everyone, Flaming Footy here and welcome back to a new video on the channel. And today guys, here I am to continue the AFL 2023 3-game match reviews. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the first 3 games from round 24 of the 2023 AFL season. Those games are Collingwood vs Essendon, North Melbourne vs Gold Coast and Hawthorn vs Fremantle. 2 weeks, 2 games, and 2 major losses for Essendon. 70-point loss on Friday night to Collingwood. Collingwood were the much better of the two sides, and gee, their accuracy was really good in the end. Collingwood 16-5, 16 goals, 5 behinds, 101 to Essendon 3-13, 31. 70-point win here for Collingwood. Pretty simple. It was just a really good game for them. And 3-13, unlucky for Essendon. Accuracy wasn't quite there on the night, but yeah, 3 goals in a game of footy is definitely below par, and it's been 2 horror weeks for Essendon. Last week, getting absolutely thumped by the Giants by 126, I think it was, and then this week, a 70-point loss to Collingwood in front of your home fans is not good. So, again, it was a really poor start. It was the start last week that ruled Essendon out of last week's game. It was the start this week which did exactly the same. 0 goals 2 for Essendon in the first term to 8 goals 1 Collingwood. So Collingwood got this jump start immediately, and it was 2 goals to 4 in the second quarter, 2 goals to 0 in the third term, which did include 6 Essendon behinds. But yeah, it was very unlikely they were going to come back from that stage of the game anyway. In fact, it was basically impossible. And then 2 goals to 1 in the last quarter. So it wasn't like Collingwood absolutely destroyed them. They just managed. I mean, Essendon were alright towards the back end of the game, but it was just the first quarter that just once again just didn't cut it. 146 fancy for Merritt, 124 for Laverde, 115 for Mitchell, 112 for Parrish, 101 for De Goey. Goals behind, 3 goals for Myercheck and Ginnivan. Ginnivan's definitely putting up his hands to be in this final side. He had a good game. And he got a high tackle free kick as well. 2 goals for Wiedemann and Elliott, 1 goal for Langford, who definitely didn't make the most of his opportunities. 36 disposals for Zach Merritt, 33 for Mitchell, 31 for Laverde, 29 for Parrish. Marks, 15 for Laverde, 11 for Merritt, 10 for Durham and Hoskin Elliott. Tackles, 10 for Setterfield, 9 for Parrish, 8 for Finlay McRae, who got a game, 6 for Mitchell Pendlebury Maynard. Hit-outs, 21 for Nick Bryan, 15 for Phillips, and Cameron, 11 for Cox. Team stats now, whereas a domination of inside 50s for Collingwood. They got back up to a usual high number as well. They were dominant in that area, 39 to 56 inside 50s. They have been restricted in the past couple of weeks, but this time they did get the nice number. They won clearance pretty comfortably. They won contested footy. Essendon did win uncontested footy though. Essendon won marks. Marks inside 50 was locked. And then Collingwood did lead for the whole contest. Out-tackled Essendon comfortably and tackled inside 56 to 17. Really good win here for Collingwood. They go into finals with a bit of form. They've got only their list to bluster from here with some of their stars returning. 70-point winners on Friday night in Anthony Mutontibui's final game of AFL Footy 2, by the way. Alastair Clarkson and North Melbourne pick up the win in Tasmania at Blunston Arena. They win this game by 35 and potentially throw out pick number 1, but they throw in the win. And they throw in a challenging tip to get right in round 24. But North win this game by 35 points. 20 goals 12, 132 North to 14-13, 97 Gold Coast. 20 goals 12, North Melbourne, 132 points. Brilliantly done there from North. It's the highest score by far they've kicked this year. Hats off to them. And Gold Coast, disappointing. They would have wanted to have played better than this. And they just weren't great in this contest and started it off really well. They were definitely the better of the sides, and it looked like North might have actually intended to lose at the start of the game, but that's got on a run where you couldn't lose from there. You really didn't want to lose from the position they'd put themselves in. So obviously the aim was to try and win it from there, which win it they did, and they were on fire. Like, you can just see this upward trend in, so Gold Coast started off the second quarter really well, but from midway, or about a quarter of the way through, or about a third of the way through the second quarter, there was just a switch that was flicked for North, and they just started to go bang, 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 and all of a sudden, at 3-quarter time, they had a handy 16-point lead, and it was like, wow, North Melbourne were doing a great job, and they managed to get plenty of goals, and then the final quarter, 7 goals to 4, and it was a really good performance from North, and of course there was one man which has to be in the All-Australian team which led it for them. Nick Larkey, 162 fantasy, 9 goals 3, 21 disposals, 11 marks, 2 tackles. He was absolutely fantastic Nick Larkey. Sam Flanders has been in a bit of a career breakout form at the moment as well. He's having a great time. 146 fantasy for him today, including 2 goals, 29 disposals, 12 marks, 5 tackles. Bailey Scott, 128 fantasy, 123 for Simpkin, 120 for Rao, 111 for Ellis, 101 for Anderson, 100 for Miller. Goals behinds now, 9 goals, 3 for Nick Larkey. Eddie Ford got to celebrate his first win with 3 goals. Roses got 3 goals. Troll, Curtis, Flanders, Casbolt got to 2 goals each as well. Bit of a high-scoring game, that was for sure. 33 disposals for Scott and Rao, 29 for Sheasel, Simpkin, Flanders, Miller, and Anderson, 28 for Ellis. Marks, 12 for Flanders, 11 for Larkey, 10 for Scott, 8 for Ford and Turner. Tackles, 9 for Thomas and Rao, 6 for Simpkin and Davies, 32 hitouts for Witts, 24 for Tristan Zeri, 18 for Goldie, 3 for Burgess, 2 for Troll. Team stats now, whereas North that won the inside 50 count, 63 to 53, including patches in the game where they were so dominant in inside 50s, including at the start of that last quarter, where they got repeat entries. Gold Coast did win centre clearance by 3. Stobbage clearances were locked. Gold Coast won contested footy. North won uncontested footy. North Melbourne won marks, 105 to 87. And Gold Coast aren't a bad defensive side, but gave up 22 marks inside 50 in this game. And Nick Larkey's a great marker of the footy, but yeah, that area 22 to 8 marks inside 50 in favour of North Melbourne there. North led for a little over half the game, laid more tackles inside their 50, but the drought is over. They won, their last win was round 2, well now they win in round 24. What a win. Second Saturday afternoon game saw a nice win for Freo at the MCG. Hawthorn 88-56, Fremantle 14-9-93. Good win here for Fremantle to finish off their season on a high. These two sides weren't playing for anything except for pride and respect, and just to go into next year feeling a little bit better about yourselves, coming off of a win. And Hawthorn started off pretty well. They kicked the opening 2 goals of the game before the Dockers stormed back with the next 3. And then the second quarter, that's just where they took it. That's where they just took the game and decided to just blow it away in that second quarter. They kicked a couple of late goals. They kicked the last 3 goals of that second quarter, restricted Hawthorn to 2 goals for the term. It was 3 goals apiece in the third quarter, so not a lot changed. But the opening 2 goals of the final term did rule Hawthorn out of winning. 134 fantasy for Brayshaw, 127 for Moore, 120 for Sarong, 103 for Amon and Sicily. 3 goals for Amos, 2 for Bruce, Tracy, Walters and Emmett. Disposals, C3 for Brayshaw, 32 for Sarong, 30 for Day, 27 for Moore. Marks, 12 for Sicily, 10 for Hardwick, 9 for Amon and Impey, as well as Moore and Ryan. Of course, James Sicily, he loves to take marks, and he did so again in this game. 8 tackles for Brayshaw, 7 for Young and Sukowski. Hit outs, 24 for Reeves and Jackson, 13 for Meek, 6 for Kaczynski, 4 for Tracy. Team stats now, where it was the Hawks that won inside 50s, 47 to 45 by 2, but it was Fremantle that were just better going in when they were going inside 50. Hawthorn, we know they're a good centre clearance side. They won that area 13 to 9. They won stoppage clearances 24 to 15 as well, but Fremantle were able to respond to that challenge. Hawthorn won contested and uncontested footy as well. Fremantle won marks inside 50, contested marks, intercepts. They led for pretty much most of the game, did the Dockers. Out-tackled Hawthorn as well, 45 to 64. So good win there for Freo. Really good win overall. It wasn't anything extremely special. They weren't playing for anything, but still a very nice 37-point win over still a pretty good Hawks side. But yeah, good win here for the Dockers. Alright, so at the Gabba at the moment, Brisbane are playing St Kilda, and it's been a fascinating contest to say the least. Brisbane 4 goals, 11-35 at the moment to St Kilda 3-21. Brisbane's accuracy has hurt them. This could be a bit of a blowout if Brisbane had have kicked straight, and it could still be a blowout, or St Kilda could still come back and snare the win. But yeah, 2-8 first term wasn't ideal for Brisbane, and the scoring has definitely dried up this quarter. The Saints have not kicked a goal yet with only 2 minutes to go in this quarter. But yeah, pretty interesting game unfolding here, and it'll be very interesting to see how this one plays out. Saturday night footy, of course, headlined by Geelong and the Western Bulldogs at GMHBA Stadium. If the Western Bulldogs win, they could potentially be in finals. Of course, then it'll come down to the Giants' result tomorrow as to how that one plays out. And the Cats, well, they got a lot of outs. West Coast and Adelaide at Optus Stadium, the second Saturday night game. West Coast are farewelling some of their, they're saying goodbye to some of their stars in the West. And Adelaide are planning to go over there and spoil the party, but again, though, pick one. There's a fair bit on the line in this game still for West Coast. If they lose, they hold on to pick one. If they win, North get pick one, even despite their win. Sunday's footy, Port Adelaide Richmond opens up the action at the Adelaide Oval before then two very big games finish off the round. But of course, that Port Adelaide game is still huge for the how the top four will play out. Sydney, Melbourne, SCG, Sunday Channel 7 game, that one is. And then Carlton and the Giants finishes off the round, and that could very well be the Giants playing for a final spot in that game. So it is all still going to go down the last game of the round. But again, though, in terms of top 8 ramifications, there's a lot leaning on the Geelong Western Bulldogs game. So we go to the ladder now. Collingwood, of course, locked away top spot with that win over Essendon on the Friday night. Brisbane can go into second if they beat St Kilda, which it's probably more likely than not that they will. And then, of course, they'll want to get a little bit percentage. But again, doesn't really matter the percentage because Port Adelaide aren't going to make up that percentage on Brisbane. But yeah, Brisbane will just want to win the game first and foremost, and then if Port Adelaide win, it won't really matter. If Brisbane win, they are a top 2 side. But then, yeah, if Melbourne get the win and Port lose, well then that could see Port finishing 4th. Carlton are in 5th. If St Kilda win against the Lions, they could finish in 5th if Carlton lose. Which would see the Giants win and get them into the top 8. If Sydney win, they could finish 6th. They can still finish as high as 5th realistically they can, but realistically they can't because they're not going to be able to make up that percentage and hope that Carlton lose by a fair bit. Might happen, might not. But yeah, probably realistically Sydney might be able to finish 6th and get a home SCG final. The Giants and the Dogs, of course, those are 2 clubs yet to play out. Yet to find out their fate. Essendon lost a whole heap of percentage and can be overtaken by any of or all of Geelong, Richmond and Adelaide. Fremantle are in 14th and Gold Coast are in 15th. Hawthorn are in 16th. North have gone into 17th, but of course are waiting on West Coast results to see where they will finish. So still a fair bit to be played out in ladder. The bottom 2, of course, there's this 10th to 13th area as well. And then 9th to 5th as well. They can still be changed in the top 4, so there can still be plenty of changes made this round. A very interesting first 3 games to what will for sure be a very interesting round 24. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please do make sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Sitting guys, never miss another video on the channel. Thank you guys so much. Bye everyone. Flame Footy out.